All right. Just before we start this, I want to address it. Yes, I know Nintendo did not directly say it's going to be a second Fighter Pass, but hypothetical situation here. We're just having a bit of fun here for predictions for the rest of the DLC. We're just going to say it's going to be a second Fighter Pass, so that's how I'm going to approach my predictions. So that is how we're doing this video. So what is going on, everybody? I am your host, Slackerz. Obviously, you clicked on the video, you know what this is. This is a Fighter Pass 2 predictions list. Again, just to clarify, somebody will say it down in the comments. I know it's not a second Fighter Pass. That part has not been officially confirmed. We just know we're getting more DLC fighters. That could just mean 2. Honestly, that could just mean 2. You never know. We'll see what happens. So let's get to some predictions, shall we? All right, but right before I do that, we got to go off the premise of these two things, all right? This is what we know for sure will happen, and it's these two quotes Sakurai just said from the Banjo presentation the other day. They will bring more game worlds together. Now, if this is an entire Fighter Pass and it's like 5 more characters, does that necessarily mean brand new 5 new characters from outside franchises? Not necessarily. I mean, they could ultimately, if again, hypothetically, we get 5 characters and 3 of them are from new worlds. That is still bringing new worlds together inside of Smash Bros. So that's how I'm approaching it. Not all 5 characters have to be new. And I think a lot of characters are actually on the table. Assist trophies, spirits are back on the table. There's a lot of characters that can legitimately get talked about. And of course, the other quote from Sakurai is that they welcome more opportunities to satisfy the fans. So I think they kind of been obviously paying attention to what the fan base has been saying about what they are expecting for DLC, what each region might be like. All right, I'm expecting this, and this, or whatever it might be. So we know we're going to probably get at least another new entry to the series. From a brand new series, might get a couple of them, and there's still the possibility we get some old stuff. So let me get to my predictions, and first up is Waluigi. And of course, I'm going to say this, I'm a fan of him. If you know my channel, you know I've been a fan of him since before pre-Brawl. I want him on the roster. I actually like the character. I like what he could not possess, but I like what he could bring to the table. So why assist trophies aren't going to happen? They could. Now, the only reason I say that is because of Sakurai's quote. They're going to try to appease the fans. They want to satisfy the fans. They know the amount of attention that Waluigi garners every time you talk about him as an assist trophy and how upset the fans were that yet again he's an assist trophy. Maybe, since I believe everything, and I think a lot of people do, everything is pretty much on the table at this point, except for Sans. He's got he got his Mii outfit, which was pretty cool. In a way, Sans is kind of like the first indie rep that's playable in Smash, right? That's yeah. How about that? Did you ever think about that? Maybe not. But anyway, Waluigi, why? Again, Nintendo knows what they have on their hands. They know the fans have caused this uproar, this ruckus about the character. This is their best chance to make us prove it to them, the people that want Waluigi. This is the best chance for them or us to prove it to Nintendo by buying the actual character inside of Smash Bros. Buy them, give Nintendo the money. Now, another quote Sakurai did say during the Banjo presentation was that they are very happy with the sales of Smash Bros. Now, I don't know if he meant just like the base game of the sales or if he meant the DLC sales so far. And if we're going to say they're very happy with the DLC sales, and there's that whole thing about they're kind of coming in, they pretty much already used their budget for the first Fighter Pass. Well, what better way to get more money potentially for a budget and more money into Nintendo's pocket by doing a first-party character? And what a better way to start off. Now, I'm not saying this is these aren't the order I expect this to happen. These are just 5 characters that I think can happen, by the way. So what better way than to start off Smash by announcing Waluigi's getting an assist trophy promotion to playable character. Again, if you don't want him in the game, it's very simple. It's 1 line of coding. It would just disable the assist trophy when Waluigi would be out on the field. But again, come on. Waluigi pulling out a Waluigi assist trophy. Isn't that the most Waluigi thing you could ever think of? I mean, that's kind of perfect. But, there's an easy workaround so you don't have the same character model out there. Plus, character model wise. It's already in the game. They already have animations. They already have a pretty decent kind of part of a moveset. They got the tennis racket swing. They got the stomps. He's got his running animation. There's already a lot that's pre-built for this character. He could happen, maybe. We'll see how far Nintendo is really willing to go to please the fans for the rest of the DLC. Now, character number 2 is going to be Crash Bandicoot. I really believe this. I think Nintendo definitely got word. I don't think Crash is going to be DLC number 5 for the Fighter Pass one. I really don't. I don't think so anymore. If he still happens, obviously that would be insane. Get it? Ha, funny. But I think Nintendo knows that the fans want to see Crash in Smash Bros. Finally. Maybe even Spyro would be okay, but my pick, I'm going to say Crash. So it'd be finally awesome to get to see Mario versus Crash, the whole Nintendo and PlayStation thing from like the early 90s. And that's kind of a vibe that Smash Bros. Has about it. They like to go back in gaming history, no more so than the most recent DLC announcement with Ken. Sorry, no, that wasn't supposed to be a joke. No, Terry Bogard. Back from Neo Geo, the early 90s. The King of Fighters, the Fatal Fury, that was a very big franchise. That was a big thing in the early to mid 90s and even kind of a little bit in the late 90s, but the 90s, that was big for them. King of Fighters, that was such a huge franchise. That's kind of like they were the go-to sort of, fighter characters that at the time, and that's kind of what was happening. So I could see Nintendo reaching back a little bit, digging into more gaming characters that have long-standing traditions and history. And Crash is pretty much up there. He's been around since, the mid-late 90s. He's been around for 20-ish, about 20 years now. Maybe a little bit more, actually. But he's been around. He's got great history. Got the cartoonish style. Works perfectly in Smash. People want to see this, and if they're really going to try to please the fans, this Crash could definitely be towards the top of the list that Nintendo might have came up with for these additional DLC characters. And plus, moveset is very easy for Crash. You got spins, obviously got to do something with that. Fruit bazookas, you got the TNT crates, you got regular crates, you got his mask, Aku Aku, who could end up doing something like reflecting projectiles, potentially. You could maybe, maybe you could have an alternate skin of Coco, but I think their dimensions are a bit different, but maybe can't really do that, but still, there's a lot you can really do with Crash. I think he's a phenomenal addition, or would be a phenomenal addition to the roster, and people would gulp this up. No, people would buy this up. People would eat up Crash. They would buy it 100%, no problem. Absolutely no problem. Nintendo would make profit. Activision could make their money off of it as well. It's just would Nintendo and Activision get together, and could they come up with a deal to put Crash in Smash? Now, fighter number 3, I'm going with Rex and Pyrrha as a sort of a duo. Now, I think, look, we all know Sakurai wanted to put Rex in the game. He wanted this to happen. Unfortunately, due to timing of when Smash started development and once, kind of development for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, even ARMS in a sense with Springman, if they would have came along maybe a bit later on, they probably would have gotten way more consideration for playable characters, because we all know that Rex was obviously it was like a bonus for buying the Fighter's Pass, so you get the Rex Mii outfit. But honestly, would it be a slap in the face to anybody? I'm actually wondering this. Somebody brought up this argument. I was reading online. I'm like, that's not a slap in the face to me. But here's the argument. Would you be upset if Rex were to be playable, whether him solo or with like Rex, if he came with Pyrrha or Mithra and or both of them, whatever, some sort of combination that would be. If Rex were playable, would it be a slap in the face that you would have Rex as a playable character? And then, the Mii outfit, the bonus, that kind of just means nothing anymore. I really didn't get that argument. Like, people wanted to see Rex. Like, on the build-up to Smash Ultimate, Rex and or with Pyrrha and Mithra, those were some of the most talked about, most speculated characters to join the roster. And obviously, like I stated a little bit earlier, we know now that due to development timing cycles, it didn't quite work, and they weren't there in time to make the final cut for the roster. But we got this brand new DLC. The fans still want this character. Slackerz still wants the character. He's a first-party character. Therefore, Nintendo gets all the profits themselves to put a little bit more money in their pocket. And they are a company after all. They got to make money. Smash prints money. That's perfect. I mean, this is just a great recipe right here. Rex with Pyrrha, or maybe even just solo, whatever it might be, works perfectly. All the ingredients are there. Xenoblade is kind of a franchise that, quite frankly, you can talk to a lot of people and they'll say it deserves a second rep, and maybe it might be pretty good with the 2 reps for now. So you never know, it could happen. It really could. So personally, I think there's a better chance Rex can happen this time around. So yeah, all new sort of rules. Anybody's back on the table, honestly, I think, besides Sans. Sorry again. But I really think a lot of people are back on the table, and Rex has a great chance. Now, DLC number 4, I'm going to go with another character where they're going to kind of reach back a little bit. Now, this one, it could be a tiny bit controversial only because of, is Digimon a video game character? And it all comes down to your stance, your view. Maybe it comes down to Sakurai's view on this. Digimon started as a Tamagotchi. What do you think a Tamagotchi is? Is it a game or is it a toy? I personally believe it is more of a game. It has electronic components in it. It's something you actually had to play to keep your pet alive and play with it and all that sort of stuff. It's not something you can just set on a shelf and it's good. You just leave it there. No, it had batteries in it. You actually had to play. It was a game. This was an actual game. That's how I view it. So I think Digimon, again, pretty good history with gaming. They were, there was the whole Pokemon versus Digimon debate going on. Is Digimon a knockoff? Blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. Not here to argue any of that. I'm just here to say I think Agumon makes the most sense if Digimon were to get a rep. Plus, Bandai, Bandai owns the Digimon franchise for the games, right? So, shouldn't Bandai get a character in Smash Bros. For DLC? I mean, why not? Sure, there might be other characters you could talk about, such as Lloyd Irving, or just anybody from Tales of in general, maybe somebody from Tekken, maybe even Soul Calibur potentially. They got a lot of franchises you could pick from, but for me, I would like to see, and I think Agumon really does have a chance. I really think Nintendo's going to kind of reach a little deeper into like history with characters that have been around for quite a while. And, well, I mean, Agumon's been around since the beginning, right? So, I would love to see it happen. Plus, moveset-wise, you could do something really cool. You could do something really cool with them. You could do it kind of based on... this is just how I envision it. I don't know if this would actually ever happen. But you could base it on percentages. This is just one idea. So, maybe 0 to 50%, Agumon is just going to be Agumon. Then, say, 51% to 100%. Agumon becomes Greymon. And then, 101% to 150%, he becomes Metal Greymon. And you could have, it's sort of Pokemon Trainer in a way, but you don't control actually when you want to switch, or in this case, Digivolve to the next stage, next Digivolution, if you will. But I think it'd be pretty unique. So, start off with a smaller character that, probably about average hitbox, average height, and, power and all that sort of stuff. And then you Digivolve and you get a little bit bigger character who hits a little bit harder. And then, obviously, if you reach 150%, Digivolves immediately to Metal Greymon, And then you just got another bigger character that hits even more powerful. So, just becomes more powerful the more damage you take. And we already have something like that with Lucario, but, here's something that could change forms, which would be really awesome. And then just simple for the final smash, just Digivolve into War Greymon. Come on, that's perfect. Come on, I would love to see Agumon. I don't know, maybe you guys don't, but hey, these are my predictions, so it is what it is. And then the last but not least, I think they will, whenever we get the last official character for Smash DLC, I think they will go out with a bang. They will go out with something big that will really get the community riled up in a good way. Maybe a little bit of a bad way, depending on how you view the character. But for me, I'm saying Gino. Again, going back to a character that's been around for a long time, but he's only kind of had one appearance. but his appearance was very, the community, Smash Bros. In general, wants to see this. Now, there's also that part of the Smash community that doesn't want to see it. Hey, he's a one-off character. He doesn't do anything. He has, no dialogue. He has no personality. It's not just this one-off random character from a game. Again, Sakurai likes this character. Sakurai's wanted this character to be in Smash Bros. For a while. Maybe they can reach an agreement finally to have him playable in Smash with Square. Who knows? That could still be a big sticking point. But I think fan favorites that get talked about quite a bit are definitely pushed a bit more towards the top of the list than they already were. It just makes a lot of sense. We've had Gino, the Mii outfit, obviously, which was okay, but it's still not the real thing. It's not what the... I think it's a good way to kind of hold over the Gino fans. It was all right, don't get me wrong, but it just didn't feel like I'm playing as Gino. Nah, to me it doesn't feel like that. Not to say that's a bad thing. I'm not knocking the idea at all. I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's just like, all right, we almost had it, but we don't quite have it type of deal. So, and then of course we have the Gino Spirit that's in Smash Ultimate as well. But look, this character would be a pretty decent way to go out on the Fighter Pass. It will get people talking in a good way. It will get people focused on Smash Bros. It will get people focused on this character. It could finally happen. Could we finally see Gino in Smash? Potentially, really. I think there's a decent chance. I think there's a decent chance now that Nintendo and Sakurai have this renewed passion or renewed energy for more DLC characters. So it could happen. It would sell. And isn't that, again, that's a big thing about business. You want your DLC to sell. You want to make money. Gino would make people money. Both companies, they would make them money. So pretty simple. That's pretty much all I got. So again, recap. Waluigi, Crash Bandicoot, Rex, and Pyrrha as sort of a... As my phone goes off. But Rex and Pyrrha as sort of a duo. Then Agumon and Gino. Now, again, not saying that's the order that I expect them in by any means, but those are the ones that I am predicting. So let me know who you guys are predicting for DLC. And, do you expect... How many characters do you also expect? Do you think it'll be just 2? Do you think 5? Do you think 10? How many do you think? And who do you want to see? Pretty simple questions. Anyway, that is going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully we catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, everybody.